Hey everyone, welcome to another one-on-one podcast. I'm Dr. Enrico, and this week we are talking about newsletters. How many of you write newsletters? You probably stopped a long time ago. Or you have a website that automatically does a monthly newsletter for you or a weekly newsletter for you. That is fantastic. That's a delegation that I think is absolutely great to send out and have those website companies do that. But we're going to dive into newsletters and the importance of them going out. So you can either delegate this to a website company that does it for you. You can have a third party that does it outside of your website company that does it for you. You can do that. And I highly encourage you to do it because there's tons of marketing benefits to constantly being in contact with your members. There's a lot of reason for it. Building your email list is, if you've been in business for more than 10 years, I mean, you should have a robust email list of just all these contacts in there. And we went through a phase over the last 10 years where email was kind of just, everyone was just getting spammed, going to promotions, really not opening them. And email is back. There's all medium and large size businesses are doing email all the time. And the way they get around to it is by making sure that they are consistent. Some of these companies will email almost daily. They'll send out 20, 30 emails a month to make sure that they stay at top of your mind. Think of the big brands out there that have, of course, one, the budget, the time, and the effort to do this stuff, but Costco, Walmart, Amazon, I mean, they're all out there doing this all the time. Those are large businesses that do this to stay on top of mind so that you can buy a plethora of products. But for you as a chiropractor, what is the best way to keep consistent with a newsletter? And that's just doing it, just getting it done. So, we knock about these automatic newsletters that go out with these websites, companies that you may be with, or you may have heard of, or that do this automatically for their clients weekly or monthly. And they're just the standard, low back pain, pillow, make sure you're getting good sleep things. But it's not about the content. It's really about the consistency. Always showing up in the inbox will get people to click on it. Now, the quality of the content is what makes it clickable. I always catch myself. What do you open up in your inbox all the time? And Costco wins for me. Costco always gets me to at least check out what's going on. And then I started catching myself to see what I was clicking on. And it was like the weekly savings or the weekly deals. And I would click on it, and rarely do I buy anything, but I click on it to take a look. So I was like, why do you do that? What's the psychology behind that? And I don't know. There's just day-to-day products that we use all the time. Costco has some pretty cool stuff. So I check it, and that's it. They waste 60 seconds of my time, and I'm out of there. But that's a consistent one. Or which other ones do I always see up there? Vice Golf. They're always in my promotions all the time, and they get me to click. They're there probably 3-4 times a week, and I'll click on them 2 or 3 times a month. So they have to send me 12 emails to get 2 opened up from me. So what do you need to do for your client base? The psychology for us is different. Our clients love us, and we are their local doctors. So they're more encouraged to open up your emails from you than they are from the big brands, as long as your information is useful. If it's the same redundant, hey, come on in, the available massages this week are on Wednesday and Friday, and they keep seeing the same one, then the open rate will start to decrease over time. So having engaging emails that are out there, and that's what this podcast is all about. You say, Enrico, another thing for me to do. Well, you can, like we said, we can delegate this, or you can make it part of your marketing routine, and you should. Marketing drives your business. Without it, you have no business. So it's funny how we want to be lazy in this one category of ownership or business ownership, but for the others, we'll be there all the time. We'll be in the clinic, 5 days a week, having all this service time to do the service, and then not spend the time on the other things that help build us do the service. So do you really need to be in a clinic 35 hours a week adjusting? That's my question for you. Can we taper that down so that you can to 20 hours, so you can spend those other 15 hours a week doing the other things? Then this stuff starts to become more doable. So that's about being a CEO. So that's what we teach through this whole thing is, marketing is a big everyone wants to grow and scale. So I'm giving you all the recipes on how to do this. But if you just throw it to the side and not take action, then these things don't really work. So a newsletter, first thing you need to wrap your head around is like, how are we going to get this out consistently and effortlessly? And it's having a good CRM. We use MailChimp at our office. We still do, even though a lot of the other stuff we do offer email. We use MailChimp. They have a great delivery rate, they have a great open rate, and they just make it into more inboxes. I've tested a bunch of them. MailChimp gets out there. They get in there. So there's many reasons why you should be writing them. And this is the things you should think about. I've got 5 kind of topics on newsletters that you should think about. This is why you should be writing newsletters. One is patient education. It's probably the most opened email. Is anything that you can educate the patient on about posture, pain, sleep, hygiene, all these things that you can teach them about, they're into. And then another way to use newsletters is building relationships by just sending out the newsletter about you, about what you do in your practice, about what you offer, builds the relationships in your business. And then you can boost the retention with these too. We have our new patients put into an email sequence to hold them accountable to the care that they're about to receive. If they sign a care plan, we put them into another sequence, and it's called the new patient care plan sequence. So now we know that they're on some type of plan, whether it's 8-week, 12-week, 16-week plan, whatever it may be. They're on this plan, and over the next 16 weeks, they're going to get a bunch of emails on how to stay compliant to the plan and all the homework that they may have to do. They may get something about low back stretches and have no low back condition. But who cares? They learned something new about stretching their back. So these are just emails, and the open rate on those are above 65%, which is really good. And then you can help promote your specials and services if you ever do things like that. Certain times of the year, Toys for Tots, your food drive, whatever the things you're doing, you can promote these through email because you have an engaged list that's willing to open up your email. So they're like, hey, it's Dr. D again. Oh, it's Full Life again. I want to see what they're doing. And then it positions you as an authority as well. Those are the 5 things that newsletters do for you. Is it positions you as an authority in your community because you're giving information all the time. They're like, man, these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about, elevating your professional standing in your community. It just works. Email works. It's back. The way email has been back is you have to bombard the inbox. People have thousands of emails in their email inbox, so you have to bombard it. There's the monthly email. I don't even see the purpose in that anymore because it's just not enough of a frequency to send to people. So having automations is great. So if, let's say, you created these automations one time for every new person that comes to your office, automatically all those people are going to be getting emails. So automations can play a great role in this. But you should also have your twice a month or 4 times a month newsletter that goes out about current events in the office, the next event that's coming up, the current things, the back to school time season, the end of school time season, the winter flu season, whatever you want to be talking about. The seasons should be going on and staying in touch, and always keep out of politics. Why consistency matters. The top of mind awareness is the whole point of all marketing. Why should I be doing Facebook ads? Why should I be doing a Google search campaign? Why should I be doing it? It's to stay top of mind with people all the time. Having a Facebook campaign that goes for $5 a day is minimal advertising that's out there. So now you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. Wonderful. Then you've got the Google and YouTube videos going out. That's the same video that's happening on Facebook and Instagram, and you're minimally spending on that a few $100 a month. Now you got this whole brand going out there, these similar videos across all channels. And then in your email, you're sending out those videos as well. And now you're just everywhere, and people are seeing it everywhere. So you build trust and reliability and engagement over time. So the more, it's not something that's going to change anything immediately, but over time the engagement starts to go up, and then you can start to plug in things like, this is how you refer to us, this is how you refer kids to us, this is how you refer your spouse to us, this is how, and then the referrals start to build up, and then you can get predictable traffic generation, knowing that every time you send out an email, you have a 60% click rate on it, or a 30% open rate, whatever it may be. That 1,500 people are going to be reading your email each time you send it out. So once you do have an offer, you're getting in front of 1,500 open emails, then you just have to have a conversion. So if you have an offer in there, what's your way better than a mailer to your community that has a 1% view rate when you send out a mailer to 1,000 to 100 homes, one person actually reviews it and may actually take action. So you have to send it out to 1,000 to get 10,000 to get 100 people, right? So in your email, you're going to have a way higher open rate where people will look at the offer, and that will have a much higher than 1% conversion rate because just because of the open rate. So let's say 1,500 people open this and you have a 10% conversion rate. You just created 15 new patients for the new class 4 laser that you just purchased in your office. Now you got 15 patients signed up to come in and try it out. So these are pretty cool ways that you can engage email and blast them. Blasting promotions over text seems to have a lower conversion rate because people don't like to be spammed over text. They don't like the spam and promotional stuff. They like reminders, they like information for text that's useful, but they do not like being spammed. So, and that question might be coming up as well. So, and all the benefits of newsletters is that the marketing benefits is that it's low cost, if not free. It's absolutely low cost to send it out to your list. That's why the value of building a list. So those of you new in practice, this podcast should maybe get you thinking, hey, I should really get as many emails as I possibly can. Yes, if you walk away with that today, that's great. You go into your EHR, you copy all the emails, you put it into your email CRM, and you just build it. Whether you're sending out anything or not, at least you're building that email list in your CRM so that when you hit the send button, there's people on the other end to do that. If you guys have been following me all year, we took over a practice and we now have a satellite because of it. And the email list was 405, 405 people. So I was like, wow, that's not much of a list at all. But we were able to start an entire chiropractic practice off of that. So nothing's too small or too large. Did I wish it was 4,000? Absolutely. That'd be fantastic. She probably would have got a lot more money for her practice if she did that. But it was a small list, and we built a practice off of it. And now we're growing it through everything that we know. So the lists matter. Low cost marketing, direct communication is the benefit of this. You get increased conversions because it's email. So if they open it, now you're writing on their desktop or on their phone, and they're reading and getting in-depth information about what you're sending out. And then they can even share this information. They can share this content to others. So the best types of newsletters to stick with, so now this is where you take out some notes, is educational content. You just want to make sure that you stay on tips of something, tips on posture, tips on stretching exercises, maintaining spinal health, movement, exercise, nutrition, just educational content is probably the number one thing to go to. If you ever have writer's block, you're like, oh, what are we going to write about today? Just teach you about something. Teach you about how dental alignment, teeth alignment is similar premise to spinal alignment. And just go into that. And they're like, whoa, I didn't even think about it that way. Right. Patient success stories. Those are another great one. Just tell a story. Email is such a beautiful way to just write a story. People will read it. Video works well too. You can embed a YouTube video in there. They can click and they can watch a 3-4 minute video on the testimonial. If you want to do that too, that's a savvy way of doing it. And then you can cross post the video across all your platforms, but text works great too. Health and wellness tips. That's a great newsletter topic. Promotional offers and announcements in your clinic. We talked about that. And then maybe even seasonal topics. We talked about that too. So you don't always have to be giving out discounts, but maybe you're doing promos. Maybe you got to, like us, we just hired a new massage therapist. We want to get her busy. You start putting out emails about massages back. And then the very next day in practice, people are like, I heard you have massage. I'm like, wow, emails work, right? They truly do. And then you got to post it in the office. We got, massages available Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then you just start to build from there. Got it? So, what you can expect once you start getting this rolling is you're going to see better patient retention. We've noticed that since we implemented our automation for new patients. It's just better retention. They're getting the emails, especially with certain programs like our weight loss program. We put them on this email. They're given especially within the first 3 weeks, they're given all these emails and the retention's really good and they stay with the texting and they stay on top of it with us. We noticed that how automation works really well. Weight loss is a good mental trigger for everyone because it's a day-to-day thing and they're trying to stick to a goal, but it can be used for anything. It can be used for spinal posture correction. It can be used for subluxation reduction, whatever your program is for them. You can have that on a schedule for them as well. It creates steady new business. Believe it or not, these emails do get shared. There's people who share them with their neighbors, their friends, their colleagues, and then increased referrals. By sharing an email, you may actually get a referral from it as well, and improve brand awareness. I remember how many videos from the email contents that I was setting out, I was also putting on Facebook for free to our Facebook group, to our Facebook page. And you would see, 5 likes, 1 comment, and 2 shares. I'm like, oh, and then the 1 comment was like the person who shared it said, hey, I just shared this with my mother-in-law. And then guess what happened next week? The mother-in-law is calling to book an appointment, and she's coming in saying, I watched that video about your Atlas talk about how if it rotates, it can cause a lot of problems. I'm like, there we go. Let's take a look at your Atlas. So that's how that all works there. Get into emails. If you're just getting started, put all the emails into at least a spreadsheet, into an Excel sheet. Do that. Get all the emails there. The best thing to keep track of is first name, last name, email. If you get that data, you put it into a CRM, you can then have nice flowed emails where you're like, hey, first name, comma, come take a look at what we're offering this week. And then automatically, hey, Kathy, hey, Mike, hey, Andrew, it all pops in nicely for you. So getting their first, last name, and email works great. If you get extra little pieces of information like phone number, address, that can go into your CRM as well for whoever knows. Data is always worth gold. Trust me on this. So get into some new newsletter marketing, try it out. And if you've had this and haven't done it for a while, it's like, wow, glad I listened to this podcast. I'm sending out an email tomorrow. Go ahead and do it. Keep doing what you're doing and stay well. Take care.